In partnership with USA Today, Sandra Hughes continues our series, CBS Reports, Children of the Recession.
In the emergency room at Phoenix Children's Hospital, they're used to treating some of the worst cases of child abuse. But pediatric nurse practitioner Amy Terreros is shocked what's coming through the doors these days.
We've really seen an increase, not only in the number of cases that we've seen, but in the severity of the cases.
Bite marks everywhere. Face, his arm, his foot.
Terreros and her team are being overwhelmed by a spike in the number of cases. In the first 4 months of this year, they've seen abuse cases increase 40% over the same time last year, from 45 in 2008 to 63 in 2009.
The numbers are going up, and some of the families, that what they're telling us tells me that the economy is playing a part in it.
The recession is hit especially hard here in Phoenix. Housing prices have dropped 50%. Foreclosures have left neighborhoods looking like ghost towns.
Recently, two of the cases that I had, it was a father who was normally the one working, who all of a sudden lost his job, and he was now the primary caretaker for the child, and he had never been in that role. And then the children came in with injuries.
And in that particular case, what was the explanation? He just lost it?
There was no explanation. It's still denial.
When caregivers' explanations don't match the injuries, Terreros and her team work like detectives, looking at scans and x-rays to tell the child's story. And what they uncover can be upsetting.
So this poor kid was walking around with a broken arm?
Well, he probably wouldn't have been walking if you go and look at the next slides. This is his other arm. Again, you see all this new bone here that's forming around that fracture.
2 broken arms.
2 broken arms. This is his left leg. And you can see here, again, he has an old fracture there. And also on his right leg, he did.
2, that almost makes me cry. The spike in child abuse cases isn't isolated to Phoenix. At children's hospitals across the country, there's growing alarm.
At Boston Children's Hospital, the number of cases screened rose 20% last year. At Seattle's Children's Hospital, a 27% increase in confirmed cases. In Beaufort, South Carolina, a 63% increase so far this year. All believe the economy is playing a major role. These children are among the statistics, and this is their mother.
Sometimes I have to walk away because I know if I would start to hit one of them, it probably wouldn't stop.
She's a single mother of 4 who doesn't want to be identified and says after losing her home to foreclosure, she became abusive and gave her daughter a black eye.
And I went into her room with a spatula and spanked her. I had to hold her down on the ground to do it, and I had to use more force than I've ever had to use on any of my kids.
She's now in counseling to control her anger despite her financial situation. But some experts say it's not economic stress leading to an increase in child abuse cases, but better reporting by the hospitals. But there is no denying that vital funding to prevent child abuse is drying up. Several states have already made cutbacks to programs this year.
Is that my nose?
Like the Crisis Nursery in downtown Phoenix, which must now turn away children in families considered to be high risk.
And we have a waiting list of probably 50 to 70 youngsters whose parents want their kids to be here.
What's going to happen to my granddaughters when they do come back, if they come back?
Eva Estes was awarded temporary custody of her granddaughters after the state separated them from their parents because of drug use and neglect, a claim their mother denies. Estes is worried about the girls going back to live with their mother.
Is anybody from CPS going to check on them once a week, once a month, if ever?
She has reason for concern. Budget cuts forced a 15% reduction in Child Protective Services staff. That's 159 case workers. Now, low-level complaints, often the first sign of abuse, will be ignored.
Nobody's going to go check out to make sure those kids are okay?
And believe me, that was a gut-wrenching decision to make. Nobody wanted to make that decision, but it was necessary.
Back at Phoenix Children's Hospital, they know exactly what these cuts could mean, and they feel powerless.
A child is left in an unsafe situation, and then they come in here critically ill.
Her team can only heal the immediate wounds. The long-term scars will last far beyond the recession. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Phoenix.